Hopefully we don't hear any fireworks during this. Hello, it's Rachel. Today I'm discussing Tom Swift episode 5. Sorry about skipping last week's episode. Things have been kind of crazy, and I just could not find the time to make a review last week. And being completely honest, outside of the developments with Senzi and Isaac, I didn't feel like I really had that much to say for the rest of the episode. So I figured instead of trying to squeeze out 2 reviews this week, I'd just not do last week's. So the main development this week had to do with Lino's new abilities. He managed to track down his mom, Violet, and they meet up. And while I'm sure Lino loves Tom, Barton, and Lorraine, and he does feel like part of the Swift family, it's pretty clear to me that he feels a bit disconnected from them, and I'm sure that's only intensified by the way that Lorraine refuses to talk about her sister. And so Lino's meeting with his mom was really sweet. He was obviously very happy to be able to spend time with her. And of course, Lorraine trying to keep distance between the two of them. It comes up that Lorraine put a restraining order against her to stay away from Lino. And again, as she refuses to talk about her sister, it just makes it so difficult for Lino or Isaac to bring up Violet. And this is understandably frustrating to Lino. So after a few failed attempts to discuss the situation with Lorraine and mounting frustrations, Lino contacts his mother and invites her to his cotillion. And it just made me so sad how she barely arrived and had the chance to settle into the party before she's seemingly bombarded with other people's judgmental thoughts. So I'm presuming her ability is telepathy, which, given the circumstances of how we're seeing her experience this, is very depressing, but the actual ability of telepathy is pretty cool. And this moment was just so sad and heartbreaking because, even though she's clearly having this break in reality, she was still being protective of Lino, he was still a top priority for her. And Lino was so scared to see her in this state too. And it was painful. Thankfully, Tom stepped in and he was able to ground her by using that device that transported her to a virtual garden. And just that moment was really beautiful. And I'm glad Tom had enough compassion to try to calm her. Unsurprisingly, once Violet has calmed down, she's removed from the cotillion pretty quickly. And, I understand Lorraine is scared for Lino's safety, and this instance proved that Violet is still having mental health struggles. But, completely removing her from Lino's life is not a good solution. Lino clearly wants a relationship with his mom. Violet clearly wants a relationship with him. They deserve to have that relationship if they both want it. And Lorraine refusing contact between the two of them is just causing harm to both of them. And again, yes, there needs to be baby steps taken on the way to ensure that Lino is safe with Violet, especially since Lorraine has spent more than a decade raising him. But turning her back on her sister and punishing her for her mental health is so fucked up to me. And also, Lorraine is not doing anything to help Lino with a situation that caused him to try to find his mom in the first place. She has not given Lino the chance to speak for himself or even disclose that he's developing powers. Because any mention of Violet just causes her to shut down. Please, for the love of God, just let Lino speak. Just let him talk about his concerns and actually listen to him, because you're making the situation so much worse by just refusing to engage with the topic at all. The other main story of the episode follows Tom after Claire has received one of his ship pieces. Or, technically, I guess she stole it from Tom because she saw he got a package. But, yeah. Claire has a ship piece, and obviously Tom is concerned about anyone learning that Barton is alive, especially after Rowan's warning a couple episodes ago. So it makes sense that he's desperate to stop Claire from examining the piece. And his plan to ensure she can't do that is to sneak out of Leno's Cotillion and break into Claire's office to steal the piece. So, to aid with this plan, Tom has a gadget that projects his face and his voice onto another individual. So he enlists Isaac's help to pretend to be him. And I have to say, Tien pretending to be Isaac, pretending to be Tom, was hysterical. Like, I was in tears during that scene. And, like, we love talents. Tien is so good. But as I was saying before, Tom's plan requires Isaac to pretend to be him. And so he also requires Zenzi's help to ensure his mom doesn't catch on to this plan. So as Tom is trying to sneak out, he finds Zenzi in tears after an old nemesis embarrassed her in front of some Cotillion members. And so, like, again, as I was saying before, I understand Tom's sense of urgency in this mission to steal the ship piece back. Because anyone outside of him, Zenzi, Isaac, and Leno, anyone outside of their little exclusive group, could be very dangerous. But, like, yikes that he didn't even give Zenzi a moment to process her emotions. Like, he really saw her distraught and crying. And he just wanted her to bury those feelings because he needed her help. And he was like, I got my timeline, you can't feel this right now. And it's so weird because we literally had Leno calling him out for being selfish last week. We literally had Zenzi calling him selfish in the pilot. Like, I don't understand why you would want to write your lead like this, where he has to be told to value other people's feelings and their help every week. And, like, this isn't even me trying to hate on Tom because I do genuinely really enjoy Tom. Like, he's probably my favorite character. I say probably because it's only been 5 episodes, so it's like, that's pretty quick to make a judgment. But so far, I'd say he's probably my favorite. And it's strange to have him seemingly not learning or changing any behaviors when he's been having other characters level this exact same criticism towards him over and over and over. But after his argument with Zenzi, Tom makes his exit anyway, and he makes his way to Claire's office, and he gets caught by one of her employees. So, as we learn at the end of the episode, Tom got caught on purpose, and he had created a fake message from Barton, so Claire would see this fake message instead of anything that Barton had actually sent to him. And I love a good reveal showing that the character we're rooting for is a step ahead, so this was a really fun twist. I really liked that. But even though we know that that goodbye message from Barton was fake, Claire is so vile for destroying it. Like, as far as she knows, these were his dying words to Lorraine, and she was just so furious that he named Thomas his successor that she destroyed it. Like, as if her drugging Lorraine wasn't heinous enough, now she's destroying the only evidence of his last words, as far as she knows. Like, I'm genuinely speechless. Like, I was enraged. The episode then ends with Tom getting kidnapped, and goodness, I'm very nervous to see what this means for Tom, because I just honestly don't know who would have the guts to kidnap him outside of the road back. And if they kidnap Tom, that can't mean anything good. But given a couple episodes ago, Rowan saying that he had an idea of how to get info from Tom, I am presuming this is probably part of that. So hopefully it's not as bad as it looks. So yeah, I think that's about it for my thoughts. If anyone has any thoughts on the episode, feel free to leave a comment because I would love to continue chatting about the episode or the show in general. And I'll catch you guys for episode 6 next week. Bye.